Diana Lidemark, and the current role that I'm in is the volunteer coordinator for Walk With Our Sisters here in Thunder Bay.
Awesome. And can you discuss your experience with volunteer coordination?
My experience in volunteer coordination has been pretty hectic. It's definitely a role for more than one person. But I've had a lot of support from our community members. I said earlier, for every volunteer I get, I lose a volunteer. And I think that that's kind of the way that it's just going to be. Some people are going to be uncomfortable and they're going to be triggered, and it's really okay. But from a logistical standpoint, sometimes it's hard to manage.
What's the sense of community that you may or may not see around you?
This morning I saw a really beautiful example of community. So as a volunteer coordinator, I was here this morning getting our first crew set up, and I found out that we were going to have 2 tours today. So we had the Thunder Bay Indian Friendship Center come in, and they came in for lunch, and they had their lunch, and as they were finishing up their time here, the students from Dennis Franklin and Cromarty arrived. So in our walkway space, that's kind of the long entrance into the lodge, we've got at the front all of this group of about 20 elders sitting on the benches and in their walkers, and they're listening to our elders speak and a translator, and they're having their moment and their teaching and their sharing. And then at the back end of the room, the students from Dennis Franklin are coming in, and there was about 30 of them. So you've got these elders on one side and these youth on the other from 2 different really influential organizations in our community coming together in this one space, and just kind of, it was like trading off almost. So the elders came through and had their time, and then we brought in the students and we shared with them some teachings around what we're here for and what we're doing, and the fact that they'll be entering a lodge. And everybody was really, really quiet. And I expected students to be the loud ones and the ones that we were sort of going to need to manage, and they were all super quiet and a little nervous. But our elders, they get out into the foyer and they were total chatty Cathy's, and they were goofing around and telling jokes and being loud. But it's just really neat to kind of see the passing off, and that Walking with Your Sisters is really important to our community, and that these organizations have come to our space here that we've created for them.
How have the volunteers' feedback been when discussing and introducing visitors to the traditional concepts or describing sacred items while they themselves may not have been familiar with these aspects of the memorial?
We're only 4 days in to being open to the public, and I think I have had every single possible response to volunteers coming into the space. And some of our volunteers are traditional people, and so coming and participating in ceremony, and the fact that there's a bundle and there's sacred items that are part of that, that's really familiar to them, and they do it with ease. But it opens up the door for them to deal with their own personal tragedies. And so that's the experience I'm having from those people who are familiar. But from the people who are unfamiliar, they're very eager and they want to participate. And we're talking a lot about bridging in our community right now. They want to bridge. And they get here and they receive an overwhelming amount of information very, very quickly. And by the end of their first few hours with us, some are eager to come back because they feel like they've learned so much in such a short period of time. They have the benefit of sort of having a captive audience with an elder for the length of their shift with us, which is also, I think, a huge draw for a lot of people. And then we have some volunteers who this isn't what they expected, and that's okay too. And they feel very uncomfortable that this isn't what they expected, but they're going to take that knowledge with them into their next experiences. And it's okay, like, we get it. This isn't for everybody, and everybody's going to have a different reaction. And so for those volunteers who aren't able to stay with us, that's part of their journey.
Great. And is there anything else that you would like to say?
I love being a volunteer coordinator.
Do you have any feedback for any future volunteer coordinators?
Have a team of people from the very start. A team of people who knows that supporting volunteer roles, that's what they're here for. It's a really big job. Here in Thunder Bay, after installation and de-installation, we have 21 days where we're open to the public. And that's 21 days, 3 shifts a day, 3 people per shift. That's an enormous amount of people that we need to be here. Know what you need your volunteers to achieve when they're here, and try to know that as early as possible so that you can orient them in advance and prepare them for what they're about to participate in. If it's left too late, it's really difficult to orient those people when they're arriving for the first time.
Cool. Thank you.